The Widawka Incident, 1975. It was the summer of 1975, a warm, serene evening illuminated by a glowing moon and a sky filled with stars. Four friends, seeking a touch of adventure, decided to embark on a tranquil kayak trip along the Warta River. Their journey would briefly take them up the Widawka, a narrow, shallow tributary of the Warta. What began as a casual outing under the silvery moonlight would soon plunge them into an incomprehensible mystery. The group comprised two men, Jerzy and his friend Stasiek, along with two young women, one of whom was a relative of Stasiek's companion. As the party set off in two kayaks, their spirits were high. The moonlit water shimmered, and the surrounding landscape seemed to glow. The Widawka, with its tree-lined banks and occasional rises, was a familiar and peaceful setting. Jerzy, a skilled hydrologist by profession, felt at ease navigating the waters. The Widawka, even at its mouth, where it joins the Warta, is quite narrow. In fact, it is so narrow that it is enough to paddle a relatively short distance from the mouth to be able to touch the riverbanks with the blades of the oars by stretching one oar to the right and the other to the left. He and his young companion paddled in unison, keeping close to Stasiek's kayak. Their destination wasn't far, a small elevated bank along the Widawka, known for its scenic views. By day, it offered vistas of fields and meadows, and by night, the sight of mist rolling over the marshlands added a touch of enchantment. The plan was simple: a quick paddle, a brief stop, and a return before midnight. Little did they know their lives would be forever altered by what lay ahead. After reaching their stop, the group disembarked and took in the tranquil beauty of the surroundings. A bottle of champagne was shared, although sparingly. Jerzy himself barely took a sip. They laughed and chatted, basking in the serene atmosphere. But soon it was time to return. The two kayaks were pushed back into the water, and the group began their journey downstream. Moments later, the night transformed. The moon vanished behind a sudden veil of clouds, plunging the river into darkness. A dense, oppressive silence fell, broken only by faint, unrecognizable sounds. Jerzy described the unsettling quiet as if the world itself had held its breath. The usual splashes of their paddles against the water were gone. In their place was a strange, muffled resonance. The river seemed to change, becoming viscous, as though it resisted their movement. A feeling of unease gripped Jerzy and his companion. He attempted to call out to Stasiek in the other kayak, but received no reply. The women, too, began to sense the strangeness. Their voices distorted and faint, as if the air itself was swallowing sound. And then came the disorientation. Their attempts to reach the riverbank led nowhere. The familiar shores seemed to vanish, replaced by an all-encompassing darkness. The river's usual narrow confines gave way to an unsettling void. Jerzy's attempts to navigate only deepened the mystery. With every stroke of his paddle, the sense of direction dissolved further. Despite his experience and the proximity of the banks, it felt as if they were adrift in a boundless, featureless expanse. The air grew damp and sticky, a faint mist clinging to their skin like an unnatural dew. The kayaks and their occupants were enveloped in a palpable, otherworldly atmosphere. Hours seemed to pass, though to Yeji and the others, it felt like mere minutes. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the darkness lifted. The sun was rising, its light revealing the familiar landmarks of the riverbank. The kayakers found themselves back near their campsite, as if delivered there by unseen forces. But the most chilling discovery was yet to come. Staszek's wristwatch showed that 4 hours had elapsed since their departure. None of them could account for the missing time. Disoriented and deeply shaken, the group stumbled ashore. Their ordeal had left no physical injuries, but the psychological impact was profound. Staszek, known for his energy and sharpness, was visibly disturbed, his account mirroring Yeji's own. Both men described the same suffocating darkness, the same unearthly sensations, and the same inexplicable detachment from time and space. The event became a closely guarded secret among the group. While a few trusted friends were told, the story was too bizarre to share openly. Over the years, Yeji grappled with what had happened. Dreams of dark, motionless waters would occasionally haunt him, serving as a reminder of that night. Staszek too carried the memory with him, but the two men eventually lost touch as life took them in different directions. Speculation has since swirled around what they experienced. Some suggest a natural phenomenon, while others entertain the possibility of an encounter with forces beyond human comprehension. Yeji himself, a man of science, remains torn. Could it have been a spatial anomaly, a local Bermuda Triangle on the Widawka, or something more inexplicable? To delve deeper into this mystery, let us recount the journey in greater detail. The decision to set off that evening was spontaneous, driven by the beauty of the moonlit night. The group had gathered at their campsite, a place of fond memories and shared laughter. As they prepared their kayaks, the excitement was palpable. The women who were not as experienced on the water relied on Yeji and Staszek's expertise. The initial phase of the journey was enchanting. The water reflected the moonlight, creating a shimmering path. They paddled in harmony, their kayaks gliding effortlessly. The air was filled with the sounds of nature, crickets chirping, the gentle rustle of leaves, and the occasional splash of a fish breaking the surface. The camaraderie among the group added to the sense of adventure. As they approached the Widawka, the landscape changed subtly. The river narrowed and the banks became more densely vegetated. The moon cast eerie shadows, transforming familiar sights into mysterious silhouettes. The kayakers moved closer together, their conversations becoming whispers as if not to disturb the tranquility. Upon reaching their chosen spot, they disembarked and settled on the small rise. The view was as breathtaking as they had hoped. The moon illuminated the fields, casting a soft glow over the landscape. The distant mist added an ethereal quality, making the scene almost dreamlike. They shared the champagne, each sip a toast to friendship and adventure. However, as they prepared to return, an uneasy feeling began to creep in. The The descent into darkness was swift and disorienting. The clouds that obscured the moon seemed to appear out of nowhere, plunging the area into an almost supernatural gloom. The familiar sounds of the night were replaced by an oppressive silence, broken only by the strange, muted echoes of their voices. Yeji's attempts to navigate became increasingly frantic. The river, once a guide, now seemed an endless, uncharted expanse. The sensation of paddling through thick, resistant water added to the surreal experience. The absence of familiar landmarks, coupled with the strange auditory distortions, created a sense of being trapped in a parallel dimension. As the hours inexplicably slipped away, the group's fear turned to desperation. The sudden return of daylight was both a relief and a shock. They had been adrift for hours, yet it felt like no time had passed at all. The dissonance between their internal clocks and the reality of elapsed time was profoundly unsettling. The aftermath of the incident left lasting scars. While they spoke little of the event, the shared experience bonded them in an unspoken pact of silence. The mystery of that night on the Widawka remained a haunting memory, a puzzle without a solution. Yeji, in particular, found himself revisiting the events, seeking answers that remained elusive. In the years that followed, he often pondered the nature of their experience. Was it a natural anomaly, a trick of the mind, or something more sinister? The dreams of dark waters continued, a subconscious reminder of the unfathomable night. Each time he crossed paths with the Widawka, he felt a pull, an urge to understand what had transpired. Staszek too carried the weight of that night. His once carefree demeanor was tinged with the shadows of their shared ordeal. The missing hours, the eerie sensations, and the inexplicable darkness had left an indelible mark. Despite their best efforts to move on, the memory of that night lingered, a ghost of the past that refused to fade. The story of their journey on the Widawka has become a part of local folklore. Some dismiss it as an overactive imagination, while others believe it to be a genuine encounter with the unknown. Whatever the truth, it stands as a testament to the mysteries that still lie hidden in the world around us. Yeji's account, told with sincerity and detail, invites us to consider the limits of our understanding. The night on the Widawka challenges our perception of reality, reminding us that there are still places and experiences that defy explanation. It is a story that compels us to look beyond the ordinary, to question the nature of our existence, and to embrace the unknown with a sense of wonder and curiosity. As we reflect on this enigmatic tale, we are reminded of the vastness of the universe and the myriad mysteries it holds. The events of that summer night remain a poignant reminder that some stories are beyond our grasp, lingering on the edges of reality, waiting to be discovered. In the end, the tale of Yeji, Staszek, and their companions on the Widawka serves as a timeless narrative of human curiosity, the pursuit of understanding, and the acceptance of life's enduring mysteries. It is a story that continues to captivate, inspire, and provoke thought, urging us to explore the unknown with open minds and hearts. Did Yeji and Staszek make it all up for 5 minutes of fame? Are we dealing with a case of collective hallucination? Is it possible that the champagne drunk by all four kayakers contained some hallucinogenic substance? But if so, how is it possible that all four had similar auditory and visual experiences and impressions? How do we explain several hours of apparently missing time? Did, by some extraordinary miracle, or perhaps thanks to extremely advanced technology, all four of them moved, or perhaps were moved, to another time-space, or to some parallel universe? And if so, for what reason and to what end? Or maybe the experience of the four young people on the Widawka was related to some kind of holographic projection? If so, controlled by whom? Are we dealing here with some paranormal phenomena or the activity of so-called aliens? Please write in the comments what you think about it, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and/or click the like button. Until next time.